Welcome to Star Citizen and the complete overview of the latest concept ship series, the Zeus MKII by Robert Space Industries. And we also take a detailed look at the upcoming and extensive component changes that will affect all ships. Because directly in connection with the publication of the data of the Zeus MKII, some questions and answers came up regarding the components of other older ships in the verse. The Robert Space Industries Zeus MKII will be available in 4 variants, although we only saw 3 variants at the presentation. The ST variant will appear at a later time. The 3 currently presented versions differ from the ES as an exploration variant, the CL as a cargo version, and the MR as a dedicated bounty hunter ship. But the dimensions of the ships remain the same for all variants, and the optics are mainly distinguished by the use of ship paints. In addition, the MR variant is distinguished by an additional remote gun turret in the upper area, as well as a quantum dampener, which is also visible from the outside. But let's go to the individual versions. We start with the ES. The dimensions from 46 to 34 meters and an altitude of 8 meters are the same for all variants, and with 32 SCO cargo capacity, the ES is located here in the middle field. The armament is also identical, with 2 size 4 hardpoints for the pilot, a size 3 remote turret and 2 size 4 missiles. The ES got a large radar with size 3 and the large fuel tanks also with size 3, as well as an enormously strong defensive equipment with 4 times size 2 shields. But there were some statements regarding the upcoming changes for all component areas, which we will introduce to you later. In the exterior area we have no special features, here the white base paint stains. And there are no special features in the interior area either. Because here we find, in addition to the cockpit, a suit locker, also various facilities for the 3 crew members. So 2 beds and also access to a small kitchen and various sanitary facilities in an accommodation area. And as the conclusion, the cargo space in the rear area with 32 SCU cargo capacity, as well as a drivable ramp. And due to the dimensions, smaller vehicles will probably fit here. But let's move on to the CL cargo variant. This is very similar to the ES in most areas. This applies mainly to the armament, the dimensions and the interior in most areas. However, the cargo space is significantly different, because here we have 128 SCU available as well as size 2 tractor beam, which is located in the rear area and enables loading and unloading of cargo or other items. In the component area, we fall back to size 2 components at radar and fuel tanks. And the CL has a size 2 shield less available compared to the ES. In the exterior, both variants are identical, except for the striking paint. This also applies to the interior area, where the usable cargo space with 128 SCU is significantly larger. One of the most interesting variants, however, is the MR as a dedicated bounty hunting ship. Due to the rather combative focus, the MR receives an additional size 3 remote tower, which is pointed forward and will most likely be usable for the pilot. The components are with size 2 in the radar area and size 2 in the fuel tanks area identical to the CL variant, also the 3 size 2 shields. In the cargo area only 16 SCU are available, but space for 2 bounty capsules, a complete weapon chamber, an EMP and a quantum dampener. It is not yet known whether the EMP or quantum dampener will be usable by the pilot. Here we had to find out in comparison to the RSI Scorpius Antares that it is also possible that the EMP and quantum dampener can only be used by a co-pilot or third person. Here the Q&A will appear in a few days will be concluded. In the exterior area, the MR stands out for its black-blue optics as well as the additional remote tower pointed forward and the visible EMP and quantum dampener. And the interior also offers more, because here we have an additional dedicated armory and space for 2 bounty hunter capsules. And of course, 16 SCU capacity for cargo or space for smaller vehicles via the extendable ramp, as with all the other variants. In comparison to the 3 variants, we have a clearly different focus. The Explorer offers the ES a good cargo capacity with a good equipment in the radar area and, above all, range, and in addition a powerful defensive. The CLS cargo variant can rely on a ship's tractor beam and 128 SCU capacity. And the MR, as a dedicated bounty hunter ship, brings everything you need for this profession. Space for 2 captives, as well as a quantum dampener and also an AMP, in addition to a much better firepower. The CL and ES are priced at just under $150 and $190 for the MR. And with that, the Zeus MKII is a really battle cry for current ships in almost every version, such as the Cutlass Freelancer or Spirit series. Because the Zeus variants are usually better equipped, offer a higher performance and at a cheaper or the same price as comparable ships. In the area of exploration, for example, the Freelancer Dur is priced at about the same but offers significantly less performance. As a smaller freighter, the Spirit C1 or the Freelancer Max are to be named, which are also much worse equipped and sometimes even more expensive. And in the bounty hunting area, the MR offers an absolute complete package and is even cheaper than the Cutlass Blue, which for example has to do without features like an EMP and can show a significantly less firepower. But as mentioned, there was a statement here regarding future component equipment and also changes to some older ships. But more of that in a moment. The cheapest upgrade option for the ES or CL variant is currently the Razor at just under $5. And on the MR you have the cheapest upgrade option with the Super Hornet for just under $10. And as mentioned, here the clarification regarding the ship components and especially future adjustments of other ships. Because here we have a component pass in front of us, so the adaptation of already existing ships with the new systems. And therefore, explicitly older ships with the current component targets are also brought into the picture for the future. And this, it can be assumed that above all the ships will be adapted accordingly and embedded into the current structure. Because, especially in the area of ship components, an adaptation is long overdue, especially for older models. Newer ships are usually much better equipped and have a much better performance. Only in the area of cargo demanded of the Zeus compared, for example, to the C1 was a little more rummaging around. It was confirmed here that the Zeus can really take up much more than other ships of this size category, but then no components are accessible from them. And of course, there was no date for the adaptation of the components. Also not included, we want to show you the Zeus ST, the 4th variant, which, analogous to the MR, also has an additional turret in the upper area. And so far, there has to be no indication of what kind of variant this could be except for a slightly modified wing. Because for a racing ship, the Zeus is actually too big. Our tip is a stealth variant. An announcement for the EST would be possible in the area of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November, so in a few days. Finally, the Zeus MKII offers an interesting concept. It does not offer new mechanics, that is, the implementation, since it is already in the grey box, can follow relatively quickly. Because all the mechanics that the different variants offer are already available in the game. But of course, I would be interested in your opinions on the Zeus MKII. Do you find it overpowered? Exactly the right thing? Or a good opportunity to collect a few more millions? I've treated myself to an upgrade to the MR for my part. You never know what happened. And with that, I say goodbye until next time. See you soon, and of course, see you in the verse.